All right, good morning. I'm going to show you how to do the transfer process. This will help you with your card as you are making it. You're going to need some scrap paper and then the final page that you will use for your card. So what I'm going to do is show you how we worked on this card last year. As you can see, I've pulled off the template. Last year I had them glue the template onto the back. So I taught them this process, and I may have already done this with you, I'm not sure, but I'm sure some of you will need it, so let's start one together. I'm gonna take a piece of paper and rip off a square, and then I need to decide how I want to make my number and my icon. So first thing I'm going to do is design my suit. And remember, you do need to use the existing suits, but you can modify them a bit. So for this example, I'm going to make a heart, but I'm going to modify it by making that line inside of it. And I'm going to come up with my own number 6. So after I'm happy with what it looks like, I'll darken it in. That way I know what lines I want to trace. Notice that I did that without copying it from the internet. What you're tracing is actually the drawing that you're making. Okay, so 6 of hearts. On the back of that, I am going to use my pencil lead to create transfer paper. And I only need to have the pencil lead where I actually have the image that I want to transfer, so you don't need to waste all of your pencil lead doing that on the entire piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to flip that over, and you can see it's already transferring to that scrap paper. Now I'm going to set up my new card. So I have a new sheet of paper. I can go ahead and use the straight edge of the scrap paper to help me as a guide. So I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. And I actually have 2 pieces of paper here, so let's get rid of that. I'm going to put the 6 on the bottom facing me. And although this edge is ripped, this edge is straight. So I'm going to use that edge to line this up, and then I'm going to trace my 6. And I'm using a pen just because the tip of the pen is stronger than a pencil, which might break. Okay, when I'm satisfied, I'm going to lift that up. Now I want the other 6 on this side to be about the same width away. So I'm going to measure with my hands because I want maybe a guideline right there, because I want my 6 to fit on the page. And then I'm going to trace my 6 again. And what this is going to do is make a light copy of the tracing of your 6, okay? So I'm within my guideline. I'm going to flip it over. And again, I want about that same amount of space at the edge of the card, and I'm going to line it up again with the bottom edge. trace it, bring it over here, line it up with the bottom edge. So remember that your numbers and your suits are inverted. They're reversed. Okay, so it now looks like they're 9s, doesn't it? So that can even be confusing with real cards. So how do they tell you on the card that it's actually a 6 and not a 9? Well, that's why I made the bigger heart. So I need 6 hearts somewhere in the negative space next. Okay. So I can decide to have 2 rows of 3, columns of 3, sorry. I can have, in that case, 3 rows of 2, math here. Or I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm going to do that. So again, I want to kind of make a guideline here for where my border is. That way I can make sure I'm lining these up. And it might even help if I make a line across the page, sort of dividing it in half like we do with our daily prompt. So now I'm going to work with this big heart, and I'm going to try to get it on the line. So let's see if I can do that. So there's 1. So see how I tried to get it kind of halfway? And then I'm also checking on the other side. So I'm going to use those guidelines, and then I'll erase those before I start adding the color. Okay, so there's 2. So I'm going to put the other one right there on that middle line. Again, you can use your negative space any way you want to come up with something that you have 6 of. So this time I want the middle to kind of be on that line, but I still am looking to have that space around the edge that stays negative. All right, so now I have 4. I've got to decide where to put 2 more. So I think I'm going to have them 1 here, 1 here. So again, they're on that middle line, kind of midway up. Okay, so I need 1 more right about there. So now the next thing that I need to decide is, what am I going to do to add some creativity and uniqueness to this card? What am I going to do with all those hearts? And that, my friends, is up to you. I'll see you in art class.